Hi, everybody. I'm Monique Renee, and I am a life and leadership coach, astrologer, and flow advisor for women leaders and entrepreneurs. And today I want to give you a glimpse of what's coming on Tuesday, the 17th, which is the lunar eclipse. And so I want to talk about it because there's a lot of energy in the skies. And this energy is here to guide us, to teach us, to help us understand what we're feeling, what we're thinking, and what we're moving toward in our life and in our own evolution. And so today I'm going to talk a little bit about the astrology of Tuesday when the eclipse is happening. And I'm also going to do a 3-card reading for all of you. Okay, so you could already start thinking about whether you want the cards under number 1, number 2, or number 3. But before we get to that, let's talk about the astrology. And I'm going to go ahead and share the chart so that you can see what it looks like for those of you that like to visually see what's happening in the sky. There it is. Okay. So you can see that the sun is opposite the moon. Okay. And that's what creates a full moon at 25 degrees of Pisces. Okay, so the moon is in Pisces, full moon, and the sun is in Virgo. Okay, we have a lot of other aspects going on that I'm going to talk about. These red lines here, okay, and what they mean, and also some of the beautiful green lines. Okay, so we have some challenging aspects, but we also have some beautiful aspects. Okay, so I'm going to stop share for now. And let's get talking about it. Okay, so first and foremost, what is a lunar eclipse and why is it important? Okay, so every month we have full moons and we have new moons. Okay, so full moons are typically very emotive. It's a time of culmination, of release, of endings. Okay, so that we can begin a new cycle with the new moon coming ahead. Okay, so we're always going through change, and don't we know that? And so these full moons and new moons and the cycles of the moon in between really help to guide us throughout all of these, beginnings and endings that we're constantly feeling and going through in our lives. Okay, but the eclipses are tied to the full moons and new moons because the nodes of the moon are involved. Okay, so when the full moon and new moon are aligned with, okay, when I mean aligned, they're very close to in degrees. Okay, they're either exact or very close to in degrees to the nodes of the moon, which are also called the nodes of fate or the nodes of destiny. Okay, and these are major karmic cycles in our life. Okay, karmic cycles are cycles of learning, of bigger beginnings and endings, either guided by the universe or guided by us. We stop and start them. Okay, and the purpose of these eclipses with the nodes of the moon are for our growth, for our evolution. Okay, because we come into this life with gifts, with knowledge that we bring in. Okay, and also kind of default tendencies, things that feel comfortable to us, even though some of these patterns can be unhealthy. And then we're also here in this life to learn, to evolve, to grow, and to move towards something bigger that really elevates us, okay? Elevates our soul and is tied to our soul's calling, okay? So that is the North Node. The North Node pulls us toward this destiny, and the South Node wants us to begin to release those patterns, those traits that are a little too comfortable for us, keeping us in a rut so that we can move towards this expansion, okay? And so this full moon is different, and it's an eclipse in the sense that it's very close to these lunar nodes, okay? And it's a partial eclipse. Very soon, we're going to have a full eclipse, which means that the moon will be exactly aligned with the north and the south node. Okay, so why is this important? We have been in the eclipse cycle related to the sign of Aries. Okay, the north node has been in Aries, and the south node has been in Libra. okay? And this is the access of relationship, okay? So we all have been called to work on relationship, okay? It's not always a marriage. It could be a partnership or an important relationship, okay? But for most people, it is a significant marriage or partnership, okay? And what we're working on is the balance of our independence, our voice, standing in our power, which is Aries, North Node, to realizing what in our relationship, where am I giving too much and not receiving? Where do I need to put some boundaries? Okay, in those relationships, or even let go of some relationships so that I can move toward and step into more of that power. Okay. So, and depending upon where these nodes are in your chart, the different houses, and also these signs, Aries and Libra, it's going to have a different meaning, a different lesson. Okay. Now, this eclipse is going to be in Pisces. So we are starting to see the shift of access, moving from partnership, okay, lessons around partnership, to lessons around the service that we give in this world, our spirituality, our connection to spirit and to our intuition and creativity, and also our health and wellness. This is the axis of Pisces and Virgo. Okay, so we have the sun again in Virgo, and we have the moon in Pisces. The nodes are still in Aries and Libra. Okay, so we still are feeling this relationship work that we've been working on with this full moon on Tuesday. It's a wonderful opportunity for you to think about what is culminating in your life. Okay, what are you wrapping up? Because it's a full moon, what do you need to shed, especially your emotions? Okay, what are you feeling deeply that needs to be released? Okay, and where are you being called to maybe step into or question your spirituality a little bit more? Work on trusting yourself and your intuition, maybe asking yourself questions around, what are my gifts? What are the gifts and the potential that I came into this life with? And am I using them? Am I using them enough? Do I need to light them up? Right? And provide all of this goodness through my service to the world. Okay. So these are some of the themes. Pisces is also, Pisces has one leg in spirit and one leg in earth, right? So we're very much still tied to the energy of spirit and things that we don't see, right? Things that are unconscious. So this eclipse years, reveal to us things that we haven't seen and haven't felt before, okay? Tied to spirituality, our greatest evolution, our greatest level of service we're here to give, um, how we show up in humanity for not only for ourselves, but for the collective. Um, and releasing things like um, the need to be perfect, the need to overwork or give too much, right? Finding that balance. And that's the polarity between Pisces and Virgo. Also, paying attention to our health and our well-being, okay? Where do we need to tune that up? Maybe do a cleanse of our bodies, of our homes, of our minds and our subconscious, right? Releasing those fears that we've been holding on to. These are just some of the themes that may be showing up for all of us during this time. Okay. So the signs that are going to feel this full moon and this polarity of Pisces and Virgo most, this is going to bring us significant change because it's karmic with the nodes. Okay. Fate and destiny. Pisces, of course. I'm a Pisces sun, and this is happening in my 10th house of career. And so I am potentially going to see a lot of changes, evolution of my career happening, and changes in how I operate in my business day to day, which is the Virgo side. Okay. And that Virgo energy is in my fourth house of home. So I'm going to potentially also see a lot of changes in my home life, how I operate in my home, who's within my home, maybe even moving of home, right? Those types of things are what I'm um, looking for, right? These patterns that are going to show up for me because of where Pisces and Virgo are in my chart, okay? And where the nodes will be shifting into. So you want to pay attention to where is Pisces and where is Virgo in your chart, okay? And if you need any help, reach out. I'm happy to help you figure that out if you don't know how to do it. But again, the signs that are going to be affected the most are the mutable signs, okay? Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, and Sagittarius. So if you have any of those signs in your sun, moon, rising, or if you have some major planets in those signs, you're going to be feeling it more than others, okay? But for this cycle, this next week, and this eclipse, also the cardinal signs will feel it because the nodes of the moon, the south node and the north node, are in still in Libra and in Aries, okay? So Aries is going to feel it, Libra is going to feel it, Cancer and Capricorn, okay? So these are the signs that are going to feel it the most, okay? Now, I also want to talk about some of the other energy that's showing up, okay? And the major planets that are adding some flavor to this eclipse and to this full moon, okay? This moon is in a positive partnership with Uranus, and Uranus is the planet of change, the bringer of change, the bringer of surprises, of things we don't see coming, and of our independence and freedom. So we could see some of those, flavors showing up in this eclipse season. Okay. Also, this moon is squaring, okay? So it's bringing a little bit of tension with the planet of Jupiter, okay? And Jupiter is all about our expansion, about our abundance, about, to a certain extent, our freedom of expression, okay? And so it could affect, and Jupiter's in Gemini, so we could see some themes around our communication, our creativity, speaking, writing, publishing, and there could be a little bit of tension there. Maybe there's a project that we want to launch and we're not feeling it. We're not confident enough, or we have some fears around it. That could be showing up. Okay. But also Mars is squaring both the south node and the north node. Okay. So we're going to feel some tension around relationships. Okay. Our independence, relationships still, and taking action in those areas. Okay. We may feel a little bit of anger. There may be maybe some arguments showing up, some tension in relationships showing up, or in things that we want to take action on that is just not the right time yet, or we need to kind of settle down, and get out of anger and frustration and into peace and quiet, which is that beautiful Pisces energy. Okay. So these are some of the things that could show up. And this full moon eclipse is also tightly wound with Neptune. Neptune rules Pisces. So there's even more of that spiritual energy, of that connection to spirit, to our creativity, to our intuition, and to things being revealed to us that we just don't see. Okay, so there is a flare of kind of like surprises and things that we don't see coming that can show up for all of us in some way, shape, or form. Okay, these eclipses, because they're karmic, it's not just about this full moon. It's about the whole eclipse cycle. Pay attention to what is showing up. What are you feeling? Where is the resistance to grow? Where is the resistance to let go of things that you know no longer serve you? This could be mindset. This could be emotion. This could be jobs. This could be relationships, homes, all sorts of things. Okay. With Pisces and Virgo, we're also going to be looking at things like boundaries, things that test our faith. Are we going to be faithful? Are we going to trust and surrender even when something happens that doesn't feel good? Okay. It could bring up some of our fears. Okay. Water energy, the shadow side of it is fear. Okay. The light side of it is trust and surrender and faith. Okay. So keep those things in mind. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, if you're watching this on Instagram, put them in the comments or DM me. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, then definitely leave me some comments. Okay. I'm here to support you and help you understand all of this and mostly how it's showing up in your own personal chart. Okay. So now I'm going to pull some cards. Okay. So remember that I'm going to do a pick a card. So there's a stack for number 1, a stack for number 2, and a stack for number 3. I'm using a beautiful new deck of cards that one of my besties bought me recently. And this deck was blessed on a sacred Native American lands in Florida. And so I just love it so much. And I want to breathe a lot of life into it. I've already shuffled, but I'm going to give it one more shuffle. So I want you to be thinking about what number is calling you. Number 1, number 2, or number 3. And I'm going to go ahead and shuffle, cut the deck, and I'm going to go ahead and pick all 3 cards at once. And this is an eclipse message for you. Card number 1, card number 2, card number 3. Okay. And I'm also going to pull an angel card because I'm feeling it. And with all this Pisces Neptune energy, we want to call in the angels. Yes, we do. Whoops. Okay. All right. Stack 1, stack 2, and stack 3. Okay. All right. So, gosh, bottom of the deck, Peaceful Warrior. Like that is so perfect for this eclipse, right? Like bring this energy to life. How can you be the peaceful warrior? Okay. Go after what you want, but from a place of peace, right? From that higher level of service. Love it. Love it so much. Okay. So if you picked stack number 1, okay. Oh, and I love this so much. Okay. Because Pisces energy is associated with the 12th house. The 12th house, again, is the world that, we came from. And so a lot of times it's associated with our ancestors, with our loved ones. So stack number 1, you have loved one in heaven is communicating from you. So if you believe that you do receive messages from beyond, and from your loved ones. I definitely believe that. And I know that I receive signs all the time from my loved ones in heaven. Then you've got a special message coming for you. Okay. It says, "Thank you, loved ones in heaven, for drawing close to me at this time." So this eclipse may be a perfect time for you to tune in, to meditate, to speak to your ancestors, speak to your loved ones in spirit, talk to them, tell them what you need, ask for their support. Okay. They want to help you. That's why this showed up. Okay. And 7 of air, futility. Okay. So some of you may be a little exhausted. You've been working hard. You have been, ideating and moving towards something, but it hasn't really been giving you the results that you've wanted. And so you're asking for help. Okay. And spirit wants to help you. So this is a good opportunity to step back, surrender, and give the universe an opportunity to come in and support you, to help you along. Okay. So I want you to focus a little bit more on that trust and surrender. Okay. Versus the working hard and exhausting yourself, because sometimes when we do that, our efforts are futile. And that's what this card is saying. Okay. So this eclipse and this full moon for you is about releasing that and asking for spiritual support. Okay. So I hope that message resonated with you. For those of you that picked card number 2, exciting. Okay, live your joy. All right, we've got some of that Jupiter energy. Jupiter right now, I didn't mention it earlier, is forming a beautiful alignment with Venus, okay, the goddess of love and abundance. So you bring together Jupiter and Venus, and there's so much joy available to all of us, but specifically to those of you who chose to stack number 2. Thank you, angels, for supporting me as I follow my joy. Okay. Yes. And oh my goodness. Okay. So we've got the 4 of water abundance. Okay. So what I'm feeling with this combination is that there is so much abundance that wants to flow to you. Okay. And what you need to do is be joyful. Okay. I want you as much as possible to step out of those moments where you're frustrated, where you're angry, when you're in lack and self-judgment and in judgment of others. Okay. You want to shift out of that energy and move into the space of love and into the space of joy. Okay. And do things that bring you joy, because when you are in that energy, that is when the abundance is going to come. Okay. I feel that some of you also, okay, because we're dealing with full moon energy, what you need to release, those of you who pick card number 2, is that mentality that, this hasn't worked in the past, so it's not going to work now. Let that go. There is a blessing and an abundance that wants to flow into you. Okay, so call it in, and you're going to call it in through your vibration of joy. Okay, so go have some fun. That is your homework for this eclipse. Go have some fun. And for those of you who chose stack number 3, this keeps showing up over and over again. I pulled this card for a friend of mine today. Signs from heaven. I want you to pay attention to signs. Do you believe in signs? I do. I've talked about this over and over again. So what is showing up for you? Are they feathers? Are they birds? Are you hearing whispers, in your subconscious? Are you getting text messages or emails or things coming out of the blue, repeated messages, numbers? Pay attention to the signs. Thank you, heaven, for sending me reminders of your presence. Again, Spirit wants to remind you that you're not alone. Okay. And this is ancestors as well. Your family members who have passed, who are with you, who want to lift you up, angels who want to lift you up. Okay. Okay. Strong message here. The woman is sleeping, and the 4 of air is about resting. Okay. So for this full moon and this eclipse, I need you to pay attention to your dreams. I want you to lay low, make sure you're sleeping well, sleeping enough, and taking some time for meditation, okay, for mindfulness, like even floating, I'm feeling, okay, like floating in the tub, floating in the ocean, in a lake, in a river, it doesn't matter. I need you to be horizontal, okay? And one thing that you could do is maybe on Tuesday. Okay, so this is happening on Tuesday, the 17th, roughly around 10:30 in the evening. Okay, that is when the actual eclipse is happening, the full moon eclipse. So the medicine for you is put on a relaxing meditation that's going to drift you off into sleep. And I feel like many of you will receive a message from spirit. But either way, pay attention to messages, to signs that just kind of fall in. They're here to align you. They're here to show you the next step. Okay. The pathway to your evolution. Okay. So those are your messages. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're on Instagram, please share this with your friends, with your families, with your colleagues at work. If you think that they would enjoy it, give me a heart. If you're on YouTube, I would love your subscribe. I would love your like, leave a comment. I'm grateful to all of you for allowing me to do this work, the work that I love, and this is how I give my service to the world. So namaste and blessings to all of you during this full moon eclipse. Take care.